Now, I'm going to let her tell her story. She gave this speech in Sumner, Washington on November 1st at a petition signing event for protecting women's sports and protecting parent rights and protecting voter registration from illegal residents and illegal aliens voting in our elections. I'm going to allow her to tell her story, so please listen to her right here. Welcome, everyone, to the Courageous Truth Podcast. As always, I am honored that you have chosen to spend a little bit of time with me today. I want to take this episode and point our attention to a speech that a 17-year-old girl named Annalie Wilson made in Sumner, Washington. She has been under intense scrutiny and persecution for standing up for her sport, which is female sport, track and field. She has been getting a lot of backlash and persecution because she has been asked to step down from her rightful podium position down into the second, third, fourth position because a boy competed in her track and field position, and she spoke out against it, and she has been getting zero support from any kind of OSPI, any kind of governing official. She has been getting persecution from the LGBTQ agenda pushing community, and it has been extremely unfair. So what I want you to do is right now, I'm going to let her tell her story. She gave this speech in Sumner, Washington on November 1st at a petition signing event for protecting women's sports and protecting parent rights and protecting voter registration from illegal residents and illegal aliens voting in our elections. I'm going to allow her to tell her story, so please listen to her right here.
Hello everyone, my name is Annalie Wilson and I'm currently a sophomore at Eastmont High School in East Wenatchee, Washington. I am a student athlete who runs track and cross country, and I'm here today because Initiative IL 26638, Protecting Fairness in Girls Sports, deeply matters to me. It matters because I have personally experienced what it's like to compete against a biological boy. In 8th grade, I qualified for the Kashmir Junior Olympics in track and field. Only the top 2 athletes in each event advanced. That year was especially meaningful for me. I had dislocated my kneecap playing basketball and fought my way back through months of painful rehab just to earn that spot. I poured everything I had into getting there, but when I got to the Junior Olympics, I had no idea I'd be competing against a boy. I didn't even realize it until after the race when he stood on the podium in first place and all of us girls were pushed down one spot. Everything I had worked for, everything those other girls had worked for, all those hours of training, pain, and determination suddenly felt like it didn't matter. When my family and I spoke up respectfully for fairness and safety for biological girls, we didn't expect the backlash that came with it. We were called hateful, transphobic, and bigots. People told my parents that they should be ashamed of me for being so hateful. I was told that I was a sore loser and that if I wanted to win, I should train harder and not suck. My family had been threatened with lawsuits, and I was even told that by speaking up, I would be the one to blame if that transgender athlete took their life. Do you know what it's like to carry that kind of weight at my age? I've watched my mom cry and get sick and apologize for other people's words, simply because I chose to stand up for what is right. No child should ever have to hear such awful things from grown adults. Not asking for fairness, not asking for safety, not for asking to be heard. Sorry, I am asking for safety and fairness. People have told me that this isn't a big deal, and that there aren't many transgender athletes, and that it's just dumb high school sports. But since 8th grade, I have competed with 4 biological boys that I know of for sure. 4 times I've watched girls lose their rightful spots on the podium and in their rankings, and I've also watched them lose their confidence. And this isn't just about high school sports. Thank you. For me, my friends, and for so many other female athletes, this is about our dreams. We train for hours. We push through exhaustion. We miss parties, dances, and weekends with friends. All because we've been taught that hard work and sacrifice are the price of chasing something bigger. We've learned that if you give your all, if you stay disciplined and dedicated, you can achieve your goals. That's what we believe in, and that's what we're fighting to protect. Over the past year, I've continued to speak out because I know how it feels to work so hard only to have it taken away. And I'm not alone. Other female athletes from across Washington have messaged me, girls who are heartbroken, girls who are scared to speak out. They've told me that how they have lost their spots on the podium or lost their chance at getting an award. They've told me that if they protest, even by quietly refusing to run, they're threatened with suspension in their sports by their schools and athletic directors. As a female athlete, we feel like our hands are tied and our voices are being ignored. And our fairness and safety are being dismissed. So today, I want to directly address Governor Bob Ferguson, and the WIAA. So today it's time for you to listen to the female athletes who are being affected by your decision to let biological boys compete in women's sports. You've stood up for transgender athletes, but you have not stood up for us. We matter too. We have voices and we have stories, and we deserve protection.
Right.
In our locker rooms, in our sports, and in our opportunities that we have worked so hard for. Just a few nights ago, I saw a video of Governor Bob Ferguson proudly saying, "Washington is the best state for women's sports in the country." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could he say that with a straight face? Has he not read the letters that were written, the stories that were shared, the pleas from girls that just want a fair chance? Governor Bob Ferguson, Washington cannot be the best state for women's sports, not until every girl knows that when she steps on that starting line, that field, or that court, she's competing on a level playing field.
Right.
That's all we're asking for. Fairness, safety, and respect. We are not asking for special treatment, we're asking for equal treatment. The very thing women's sports were created to protect. We're calling on the leaders in Washington to stop twisting the issue into something it's not. This is not about hate or discrimination, and it's time to stop pretending that it is. This is about fairness, this is about safety, this is about respect. This is about doing what's right, protecting our female athletes, and ensuring that every athlete competes in an environment that is safe, fair, and respectful for all. It is time for real leadership, real solutions, and real courage to stand up for what is right. And today, I want to extend a personal invitation to Governor Bob Ferguson and Superintendent Chris something, I don't know the government guys, to sit down with me, to listen to my story as a female athlete who has experienced firsthand how this issue is impacting the girls of Washington State. Let's have an honest, respectful conversation, not about politics, but about protecting fairness, safety, and opportunity for every athlete in our state. In closing, I'm asking every person who can vote to please sign this initiative. I'm only 16 years old, and I don't have the power to sign it myself, but you do. You have the power to stand up for what is right. You have the power to make a difference for me and for every female athlete in Washington State who simply wants a fair and safe place to compete. Your signature is more than ink on paper. It's a stand for fairness, safety, and the future of girls' sports. Thank you.
Her story is a story that is echoing across our nation, and really it's echoing across the West. Where are the men? Where are the adults that are standing by and just allowing this to happen? This should light some courageous truth and some fire underneath your heart to get engaged in the legislative process, get engaged in the political process, and get off your proverbial duff and get out there and start making change. Young girls like this should not be standing up for themselves. Men should be standing up for her. Adults should be standing up for her. But instead, she is fighting for herself and for girls. Where's the governor? Nowhere to be found. Where is OSPI in Washington State? Nowhere to be found. They do not care about young girls. All they care about is their political and socio-political agenda. If we continue to be silent as conservatives, then we will be silenced forever. Now is the time to take a stand for the courageous truth. God bless you all.